Bud, are you a large loaf? Loaf, cat. Meow. Meow. What is it? You've got some dirt in your eye. I'm going to put some dirt in your eye. Hold still. Hello. A controller build. It's been so long. Hey, Resi Gun. Well, it looks like we have a lefty controller. I might need to print a left shaft for this. Stay there, bud. Don't move, slime ball. An abandoned kitten. Oh, poor kitten. You were abandoned. Nobody loves you. Nobody loves you. I guess I had an alright day. Just programmed. Did some working on some old pinball parts for like some of the older games I worked on, and then just rested for a couple hours, and now I'm here. Story of my life. How's everyone else doing? Did you see... no, I did call her yesterday and listen to her boring stories. I'm going to visit on Memorial Day, so I told her I would visit in a couple weeks. I was actually doing a whole bunch of landscaping yesterday, actually all weekend. Took quite a bit of my weekend. Did make some good progress, though. Got my stump hole all filled in, then I redid the blocks on that flower bed. Now I just need to rake it all flat and put the mulch back down and then herbicide it so everything will be dead. Then maybe in a year I'll plant some more. I don't know, plant something there. I got a few bushes that I planted, but I guess I could plant something else. Two burning bushes. I think are those the ones that turn like pink in the fall? I think I have one of those. I think that's like considered to be a bad plant as well. Although it's really pretty. If you have a burning bush, get Jock Itch Cream. A new puppy? Oh no. Alright, I started the shaft print. Should take 40 minutes, so by the time it's done, or by the time we get to it, it should be done. One would hope. The burning bush. Actually, I kind of got a burning bush today. It's probably all the sweating I did this weekend. Slowly working my way through the house project list. So, got maybe a fifth of it done. I suppose the next big project will be repainting the aluminum awning in front of my house. We're gonna take that down and blast all the paint off of it, then repaint it. I did cut up the yew bushes in front of it so I can actually get between the bushes and the house to take it down. So that was step one, which I did a couple months ago. So bit by bit, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. Oh, we already did the game badge thing. That was at MGC like 2 weeks ago. But I did get like 100 more of these boards, so I might bring some to the Vintage Computer Fest. I think that's the next convention I'm going to. I haven't gone to Murph in a couple years. I don't know. It's a long ways away. Doesn't feel like the drive juice is worth the squeeze. There we go. The UFO files. Ugh. The UFO files, they remind me of the Epstein files. It's like anyone who follows any sort of like conspiracy stuff, which I do, obviously. It's like Apollo astronauts reported seeing strange things on the moon. It's like, yeah, we know, that's ancient news. What else you got? The MGC convention. Oh, it was fine. We got all the game badges done. We only went 40 minutes over. Ha 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 ha. Then that convention's so overwhelming now. I just like did a few loops around the vendor hall, and then I just hung out at the spooky booth most of the weekend and talked to random people and sold gaudy Hawaiian spooky shirts. I'm actually really good at selling crap to people, so it's like my secret talent. Corwin always says this joke, the spooky guy, he's like, Ben's a good animator who could also program. It's like the running joke. I don't think I'm that good of an animator. Whatever. I wouldn't hire myself. I'd be like, you're not good enough. Sounds like something Steve Jobs would say. I wouldn't hire myself. Yeah, I ran into him a couple times. I gave him and his brother each a Warp Speed beer. They had Clint's area like way off in Nowheresville. It was really weird. Like, he wasn't in what I would call the YouTuber section. He was like in like this other part of the show. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they did that. I think they like added him at the last minute. That's what someone said. I don't know. I can't. Yeah. I don't know. Did he make a video about it yet? I would have thought he might have been slightly disappointed by that. Because they had like what I would call a YouTube section, and they had like Joe Riggs, John Hancock, and the Nostalgia Critic, like all next to each other. And I think it was part of the vendor hall, but then like Clint was like in this completely different part of the whole thing. Kind of weird. Because usually at those shows they put all the YouTubers together. I think I did like all the animations on Evil Dead. Like they would just give me like art pieces and then I would just stick them together. Or a lot of times I would just tell the artist, hey, make me this, and then I'll animate it. Because it's like, I'll do it myself. It usually works out pretty well because, you know, again, I've been using this stuff, been using Adobe products for 30 years now, so, and not like YouTubers who don't know math in years, they always get it wrong. It actually has been 30 years, ever since I did like the Adventurous movie, or Adventure movie. That was like the first time I started using Adobe stuff. Actually, no, I think we used Photoshop on Posmus Man a little bit. Geez, I can't remember. Actually, maybe it wasn't Photoshop. Maybe it was something else. But I know, like, Adventure used, yeah, well, Adventure was edited with, like, linear decks. But all the special effects were done inside of Adobe Premiere. Let's see here. Well, I think before I work on cat nests some more, I need to like learn more about Godot. Because like I was kind of hacking together the animation stuff at the end. It was like a bunch of if, then, else states, which is sloppy. So I think I should research that more, and then I can like make the animation system actually work the way it should. Instead of having like state within state within state, which is sloppy jalopy. A new pinball project, I've been going nuts with objects. I'm like, I'm just going to use objects and handlers for everything. So it takes longer to get set up, but then once you do, you have all these pre-made modules, which makes things... You spend the time ahead of time, and then it makes stuff later on go faster. That's how it works for me. So far it's going okay. Kind of different licensing restrictions on this one, but it is what it is. Hey Nevitz 0007. Well, the animation stuff on Evil Dead was so what was it? Like what see when we started Evil Dead, like Texas Chainsaw Looney Tunes hadn't sold that great. I think the game is decent, but the theme, I think those themes are just weaker. I mean, Looney Tunes had its heyday like back in the 90s. It was like so when we started Evil Dead, it was like, okay, we get 15 minutes of the first movie, 5 minutes of the second movie, and we cannot show any humans from the second movie except for Bruce, but we can show humans in their deadite form. So like when the guy like turns into a deadite and has like all those rows of teeth, we could show that, but we couldn't show him before he got turned into a deadite. So because of that, there were things for the second movie that we would do with like animation loops. So we had to do animation stuff to make up some of the gaps, and also to like spend less footage. Although in the end we ended up using more footage because once it was like, oh, this game is a smash hit, then it's like, oh, screw it. But at the start we were trying to be very frugal. I still don't think we even used 5 minutes of the second movie. So like I had the artist guy make up like a Linda, like when Linda is when she's like the skeleton buried girl or whatever, he made up a rig of that with all her legs and parts and stuff, and then I think I animated it in After Effects, and then it's just part of a baked video background, so it's not actually animated in the game engine. Then there's another section like that, in the phase where he's fighting Linda's torso in the shed when she's holding the chainsaw. That was animated by hand as well. So basically like just like the torso with a chainsaw and a loop, and then it didn't really have, I think it had like 6 points of articulation. It was fairly simple. But, you know, you move it around fast and add some motion blur, no one can tell. Yeah, I actually used DaVinci Resolve for my Super 8 project, because Premiere cannot do custom frame rates, which is pretty stupid. So to like export scans at 18 frames a second, which is what most Super 8 is shot at, I use DaVinci Resolve. Although DaVinci Resolve also has better color correction than Premiere. And since for the negatives I had to, like for the stuff that I shot, it's negative, so you have to do like film color subtraction and all that. DaVinci Resolve is actually better at that than Premiere as well. Yeah, the game that we made before Evil Dead, it was like a dual theme. Like they designed one game, and then the layout was made into two themes. It was Texas, almost said Texas Roadhouse, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Looney Tunes. Two very disparate themes. So it was the same layout, but obviously the art was different, and then obviously the rules were completely different. And, the two games were programmed by two different people, and actually in two different languages. So I programmed Texas Chainsaw in Unity, and then Eric Preki did, he programmed Looney Tunes in Godot. So everyone really liked Texas Chainsaw, but it didn't sell all that. It still hasn't sold out. It still haven't sold like the licensed number of units, but people are still buying them though. Because now that nobody can get Evil Dead or Beetlejuice, people are actually going back and buying some of the older games that are still on sale. Like, well, yeah, Looney Tunes, Texas Chainsaw, and Scooby-Doo are all still for sale. So I can't really say a lot about DaVinci Resolve, but I have used it for that purpose. But the day-to-day footage, because I actually use all that stuff for the pinball stuff, because like cutting up movie clips and yeah. So for pinball I use Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, and some Illustrator. Like I'll use Illustrator to do like, pixel accurate layouts of screens and score displays and stuff. Then I'll make mock-ups and give them to the artist, and then, usually he gives me back stuff that's like pixel accurate so I can put into the game engine. The new game, we've only just kind of started that stuff, so there's only... Actually, I don't think we have anything actually in the game yet from that, but I'll probably start polishing that stuff more this summer. So I always whine about Adobe, but part of it is because I'm still like stuck with it. Yeah, we had a lot of people ask about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 being in the game, but that's a completely different license, so it's just the first movie. Whoa, that came right out like a loose tooth. Oh yeah, I gotta go to the dentist this week. Ugh, I'm sure I'll have to get a bunch of work done. Ugh. Okay, so this is a hefty lefty. Hefty lefty, mighty righty. Haven't used those Hall Effect sticks in a while. I don't know, those are kind of iffy. Like they often weren't centered, so in a way it seemed worse. So I've just been using these old school for a while for now. Yeah, I don't really have any other cool stories. Just been doing a lot of landscaping work lately. Got the awful tree removed. Then my buddy bought a stump grinder, so he's like, I'll grind your stump for you. Then I took, oh man, I had to move so many buckets and wheelbarrows of sawdust. And I put it in the back of the yard, so I'll spread it out for mulch. But man, there was so much sawdust. Like just for, yeah, I would just like move a bunch over, then spread it out, let the sun dry it out, move a bunch over and over and over again. But yesterday I got the last bits of it out of the hole. So then I was able to fill in my big dirt. I had this big dirt pile I was making right next to it. So the big dirt pile was like, actually most of that dirt was from the flower bed I rebuilt like 3 weeks ago. So I took all of that excess dirt and piled it up next to this stump because I knew I was going to need to dump it into the hole. And then also at the back of my yard, I dug like this barrier thing because my neighbor never takes care of her yard. So I was like, I'm going to build a wall. Well, it was kind of like this ditch. Then I filled it up with sand and river rock and like landscaping edgers, just like the plastic ones you stick in the ground. So basically there's a physical separation between our yards. So that also generated quite a bit of dirt, which I put into my dirt pile. But then I had plenty of dirt to throw into the hole of the stump, and it was enough. So yeah, so now I just need to like rake that over and then add some more, get some more mulch. And then that should, I got all the landscaping retaining wall. I got that all put back into place yesterday. That took like most of the day. Yeah, Jam Skin, I thought I'd waited too long at the time to buy my house, but now I feel like an accidental genius. But then there's also like some survivor's guilt because of like how expensive houses are now. Although I did get my my 2026 tax assessment, and this house actually only went up $11,000 in value last year, so that's actually the smallest increase since COVID. So houses are still way too much money, but maybe at least the prices are starting to decelerate. That's about the best I could say. But I did notice that because there were a couple years where it went up like a lot. A slit fence. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. It's so, well, yeah. Well, the problem isn't even really the rates. Well, well, it was the rates because during COVID they slashed to zero, and that because the market was already like hot like when I bought it, but it wasn't like the houses weren't like too ridiculously priced. It was just that stuff would go on the market and be immediately sold like within hours. Like this house, I had like a luxurious 3 days to like do everything, but there was a couple places I looked at where it was like you had to make a decision basically while you were standing there at the open house. It was insane. There was one I went to where it was like a 30-minute window. That would have been in 2018. So, but remember, rates were going up at that time because rates started going up during the first Trump administration because it had been zero for all of Obama. So I think that was pushing, maybe not the prices quite yet, but it was definitely pushing. People were like, getting in there. It was definitely pushing the sales of houses in the late 20 teens. put some ham antennas. Well, I don't know. My neighbor's roof has something wrong with it, so maybe he'll lower my housing prices. So. Yes. Continue to not fix your house, Lee. I'm sure he'll fix it eventually. He's like this guy that came over from Vietnam. Apparently, he was like, I can't remember who told me. I think it was the person who sold me the house. I think they said he was like an ass setter. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, now he lives in America. Yeah, so I need to take down the aluminum awning, strip the paint, repaint it, put it back up. Then I should get my driveway resealed. Then there's a piece of flashing that fell off the edge of my garage that I need to put back up. I just hate ladders. Then I have to fix this. There's a piece of Romex in the garage, which is not to code. The garage door opener, it's going over the stud, so technically I should fix that. Let's all do that. All I gotta do is drill a hole and rewire it. It's not a big deal. But oh, and then also, I've had my storm glass windows up this whole time. I like put them on the first winter I lived here and never took them down because I was like, why? Because they insulate. But they're getting kind of weathered, so I'm going to take all those down and strip them and repaint them and fix them if need be. I'm going to do that this year too. I don't know. The whole list is on my refrigerator. It's pretty much all stuff out. Yeah, it's all out stuff outside the house. Because inside of the house has been pretty static. Haven't had anything, haven't had anything go wrong, knock on wood. Actually, the water heater failed like a couple months after I bought the house, but the sellers had bought a home warranty, so that actually covered it, which I guess is good, because then, then people won't be like, you sold me a house with a bum water heater. So I think it was like $100 deductible or something. So now we have a new, wait, that's not Chinesium, Mexicanium water heater. It'll be good for at least 9 years. Oh, I guess I had to replace my stove too, because I was too lazy to fix it. I can't fix it. Also, I just wanted a new stove, let's be honest. Hey, 3D Medic Vince. Oh, hey, Steven. Well, I don't know. Like the landscaping stuff, I don't know. I already, yeah, like this weekend I probably spent, oh gosh, I don't know, probably like 12, at least 12 hours. Which I know isn't the whole weekend, but I don't have unlimited energy. I don't have anything close to unlimited energy. So I was shoveling a bunch of dirt yesterday morning, and then I was like, oh great, I got to go back to Menards. So then I went back to the Menards. And then I went to the bar, and I had like 2 beers, and I'm like, ugh, I gotta procrastinate. But I was like, do I really want to move all those blocks, put those blocks back in place? But then I ended up doing it, so. Yeah, there's a lot of procrastination involved where it's like, yeah, I have to like take a rest for like 30 minutes or something, and then just like be like, oh, fine, I'll do it. Yeah, but yeah, it won't take very long to like flatten it out, and I just gotta go buy. I gotta go back to Menards again this weekend and get more mulch. It's a gas water heater, jet scan. Yeah, retro AC. That's how I felt too. It's like, you know, I need the exercise because I just have a wussy computer job. But no, it's good exercise, you know. And I got like a nice red Irish suntan. But yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, I'm 50 years old. I have less energy than I used to. I mean, well, I'm not gonna say there's nothing I could do about it because I could, but I don't know. You just get older, but then I don't know. I don't know how my Uncle Bud does it. Like, so I called my mom yesterday for Mother's Day, like I said, and of course she starts telling me all these stories, and she's like, "Well, I had this retractable awning, blah blah blah, and the hail went through it. So your Uncle Bud climbed up there with a ladder and put a new one in." And it's like, Jesus, like, my Uncle Bud is the same age as Joe Biden. He's like old. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like 82-year-old men really need to be climbing ladders. But I don't know. Actually, you know what? He made me think of Joe Biden many occasions because he was helping my Uncle Dennis. Like, my Uncle Dennis, like, bought the land my grandma used to live on. And he built like this, I guess you could call it like a tiny home cabin that his wife wanted. But then behind it, of course, he built like a boy's toy shed, and the roof is like this, just like the slanted roof, like a one pitch roof, whatever that's called. And Bud was climbing up on that roof and like using power tools and like. Last year, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you're over 80. But it made me think, I don't know, I think just a lot of old men just like don't want to like stop doing stuff. Like stubbornness, you know? I guess it's better than not doing stuff. But yeah, I think about that sometimes. It's like, look at all this stuff. Bud, Uncle Bud, the human, that's who the cat was named after. Like, all this stuff he does, he's like 82. That's pretty old, if you ask me. I think he was the same. I think Bud was actually a year older than my dad. I can't quite remember. I think my dad was born in 44. 44. Yes, that's right. Yes, he was born in 1944. You know, it's sad. It's like, to think of that, I had to think of when he died and how old he was because it was kind of disconcerting. And I'm like, okay, so he died in 1982 at age 38, which means, yes, he was born in 1944. So whenever I climb up on ladders, which I don't like doing, I always think, oh, I've outlived my dad by 12 years now. It's a bit disconcerting. Even if he's just superstitious, you still think about it. Will I give up the soldering iron after I turn 42? I don't know. I've already not doing a lot of this stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, this controller stuff is about the most that I do because, well, like I said, like last year I did a bunch of tech projects last year, but this year it's like, okay, I can't do all these tech projects in my spare time because I have to do with what energy I have, I need to do house stuff. So, yeah, I haven't been really soldering a whole lot. So my lifetime supply of solder might last longer than my life. Ha 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 ha. 85? Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like old men just like doing stuff, you know? This one. Ladders hurt your feet. Yeah. You know, if I had like a scissor lift and I could just take the scissor lift up to my roof and then walk onto the roof, I would be 100% okay with that. I'm totally okay walking around my roof. It's the ladder transition that scares me. Especially if I don't have someone holding it for me, which I usually don't because I live by myself. It's like when I clean my gutters, I put up the ladder, but I don't actually go onto the roof. I just put up the ladder high enough so that I can like shoot a well, now I use my pressure washer. So shoot the pressure washer down the things, so. See, even while I'm doing a soldering project, I'm talking about landscaping and outside work. You know, I actually hear young people IRL bemoaning, like, houses and stuff, like, at the bar and stuff. Like, the young people would be like, oh, I'm never going to have a house. And, I mean, yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, it's like, oh, man, there's a lot of shit you have to do when you have a house. You have to dig so many goddamn holes. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh, I finally own a house. And then the twist ending is you have to dig a million holes. No! Oh, I can still solder. I'm just saying I don't do it as much as I used to, which I guess, you know, could mean that it would atrophy. I hope not. Well, I do know my eyes will go before my hands do. That's very obvious now. That's why I made my super peepers. Super peepers. I can get a Timu excavator. Right. Let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, I can do most of this stuff myself, you know, so why pay someone to do something when I can just do it on the weekend? Like, I don't have kids, so I guess even if I did, they'd probably be grown up by now, but so yeah, you know, I can do this stuff on the weekend. I would not redo my own roof. That's on the list, but I'll definitely just hire someone for that. So I'm just, you know, gonna set aside 20 grand for that. It's actually not too expensive, these ranch roofs, even nowadays with all the inflation. Because I know a couple people that have done it. Well, like my buddy Chris did it, and I don't even think he spent 20 grand, or he might have, but it's about, so I'm figuring about 20 grand. I could have got a slightly reduced roof if the hail had damaged my roof, but it didn't. But I'm sure my insurance will still go up anyway. Get the shakes, like Louis Rossman has the shakes? Why, does he get nervous because he talks about all this awful stuff, but he'll never talk about why it's happening. Does that make him nervous and his hands shake while soldering? I hope he never looks up the Georgia Guidestones. All right, need a 3-banger for this. Yeah, I think my roof has the original like wooden beams. It's not like board or whatever. So I would assume it would probably just be the shingles. Hopefully. Actually, shit, that reminds me. I gotta go up in my attic and move some insulation around above my bathroom, and then I need to like repaint the edging in the bathroom, which I still haven't done because I redid that last year. God. So I repainted the whole bathroom, but then like I went to touch up the transition between the ceiling and the walls, and I repainted the ceiling, which I didn't do in 2018, the last time I redid the bathroom. But then I had to touch up the edges, and it was the slightly wrong color paint, so you can kind of see it. So I went back to Menards, and I bought the smallest bucket of the right color paint, which matched the new ceiling, but I still have not gone up there and touched it up. That's just laziness. That little quart of paint or whatever, pint of paint has been sitting on the kitchen table since like August. Shameful. I should just... I'll get it done. I don't know. That bathroom took a lot of work to fix. So now it's like, ugh, I don't have the energy to finish it. He's still worried about Apple? No, so I've been watching Loyal Moses recently because Loyal Moses is like a black pill Louis Rossmann, so it's way more up my alley. What I like about him is that he'll actually talk about something and then he'll like extrapolate all the bad stuff that could happen with it, like, you know, like trucks that determine if you're drunk or not. So that's what my issue with Louis Rossmann. He'll talk about this stuff, but he won't think about like, you know, this leads to this leads to this. He just talks about this. That's what I find disappointing. Well, yeah. So I just had to like go up and touch up some spots of the seam, but then it's like, oh, I might have to like remask a portion of it, or have to like use a squeegee to. So I don't know. It's just like, so I've got to go around the edge of the ceiling doing all this like intricate, boring work. So I don't know. It'll probably only take me like 30 minutes. I just need to finish it. Mudahar goes pretty hard these days. Yeah, I see all these videos and of all these YouTubers talking about that stuff, and none of them talk about the underlying, you know, what's behind it. I mean, I talk about it all the time, but, well, not on YouTube, but, I mean, it's a pretty obvious explanation for it if you, if people don't believe in conspiracies by now, they're dumb. Not like shit like the earth is flat or we didn't go to the moon. I mean like the real conspiracy. Like that alien stuff you were talking about earlier. It's like, oh, look, here's the alien files. And it's the same shit people have been talking about for, 50 years. Because, like with the moon, like the secondary conspiracy, it's not that we didn't go to the moon, it's that we went up there and we saw shit that we didn't expect to see, and that's why we haven't gone back. That kind of stuff. Which they allude to in these alien files. See, I think the alien files and the Epstein files, again, it's stuff that a lot of people already knew or assumed was true. So I think the real story is why they released those files. Because you always see people say, oh, this war is a distraction from the Epstein files. Or this is like, no, the Epstein files is the distraction. I mean, obviously it's awful, but Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, look, aliens. Or, I don't know. I find conspiracies interesting because it's like solving a puzzle. Like, you see this stuff, you see this stupid stuff in real life, and you're like, why is this happening? And then my brain always tries to reverse engineer it. I just can't not think that way. Yeah, Tom Lentz is like, well, Tom Lentz was really about, it's really about banning printers from printing IP. Because for every lower receiver that someone prints for an AR, 10,000 Mandalorian helmets were printed. Or 30,000 Labubus, or 100,000 Pokemon. That's what it's really about. They want everything to go through an online slicer, which is the only way those laws would work, is remote slicing. And the remote slicer, just like YouTube Content ID, will be like, oh, that's Pikachu, or that's the Mandalorian helmet. That's what it's really going to be about. And the fact that nobody can, well, some people have put two and two together, but they just use gun laws so they can get it passed in anti-gun states. But it's really about IP. Because remember, like, think about Mickey Mouse, like Disney's been extending copyright since, like, what, the 70s? It's like, so why wouldn't they do that to 3D printers as well? All right, I'm going to check that print. Let's dry a little bit more. Because a lot of the stuff is not conspiracies. It's like, you know, there'll be a WEF meeting talking about 15-minute cities. And then, like, you look at the fact that they kind of want to, like, take ownership of your car away from you. And it's like, I don't think you need a slide rule to figure this out. And everyone's like, oh, I'll just drive an old car. And all they'll do is they'll just deny insurance for any cars that do not have these features. That's what they will do. Guaranteed. There, boom, I already thought about it more ahead than anyone else on YouTube. You're welcome. What can I say? The router ban BS? Oh, it's the same thing, Killian. They want... it's all about control. Like, they want to create a digital prison planet. That's what they're after. And they're going to go after VPNs. That'll be pretty soon here on the list. Well, and it's also all the age verification crap they're talking about. So that what that's really about, if that's really about making using the internet so onerous that people will accept the digital online ID, and that goes right back to the VPNs and the routers and controlling all the traffic. And the reason they want a digital ID is so that's one of the steps they'll need to do a digital currency, which they'll use to control people and, of course, to hack the debt away. Because a digital currency would allow for infinite inflation, and that's how they'll life hack the debt. And that's probably one of the ways they'll sell it. I also predict that there'll be the other thing they need is a digital federal ID, which is not the same as a real ID. And I'm guessing along with, like, the tax the billionaires thing, like Gavin Newsom will probably say, well, you know, to save Social Security, we need to make Social Security more secure. And the 9-digit number isn't secure, but we need a cryptographic hash for your Social Security. And, you know, I mean, it makes sense, actually. I mean, that's not wrong. But, see, once you have 2 or 3 of those things, then you can do digital currency, and that's what they're actually after. Uh-oh, YouTube. Triggered yet, YouTube? Triggered, YouTube? Actually, Madison is fighting back against the flock camera, so it's a liberal city actually being liberal for a change, so kudos to them. Well, like with the cameras, there's SCOTUS precedent for this. Like, no one is guaranteed privacy publicly. Like the Fourth Amendment does not apply publicly, so that's why, they'll put up the cameras. That's why the police can use probable cause to search your car, and that's also why, like you have no rights when it comes to cars, none whatsoever. You have privileges when it comes to cars. And which means they haven't even begun to turn the screws on that. Yeah, flock cameras can get flocked. No, Philip. I think they're gonna sell it as how to save Social Security. Okay, so I think the immigration stuff is part of that, where you let something become a problem. Okay, think about it this way. Let's say you're talking like 2005 era politics. Which political party would be the most against a digital ID? It would be the Republicans. Okay, how do you get the Republicans to accept the digital ID? You create an immigration problem. And the Republicans don't like immigration, so they're like, oh, well, if we had a digital ID, then, only people with the digital Social Security number can get Social Security. I mean, for all we know, all that Medicare fraud stuff might be a psyop, too. I wouldn't be surprised. Because it helps you sell. And you know what? Frankly, we probably should have a more secure Social Security number, but they're not going to do it to make anything better. They're going to do it to make it worse. Because remember, Social Security starts to become insolvent. Not like completely insolvent, but Social Security starts tipping over in 2032. It's only 6 years away, where basically Social Security will be putting out more money than it brings in. And then making that worse is that we aren't making enough new humans. So, yeah. So the funding problem is just going to get exponentially worse. Yeah, make it hard to travel. Yes, absolutely. Because traveling is freedom, and they hate freedom, so yes, yeah. Yeah, maybe I can start a new political party with Thomas Massey. He's pretty based. Well, no stranger sound. The mark's going to get much worse. Come on, get in there. I mean, speaking of Social Security, like the other thing people don't think about is like we think of like right now, like we're obviously we're probably in a depression. I think. I mean, look at this. Like, when was the last time I built one of these? Like, I have never seen sales this slow. I've definitely seen it this in my side gig at least. So I've seen it. Yeah, so like if you think about like the Great Depression, The unemployment rate during the Great Depression hit 25%, but the actual unemployment rate right now is 25%. Like shadow stats. And it's not a conspiracy, it's real. Like 25% of able-bodied Americans do not work. And so I think one of the things that masks bad economy, like right now, is the fact that back in the 30s, we didn't have any of that. So like when unemployment got really bad, you felt it. But now so much of the economy is shored up by government programs, it masks bad economies somewhat. And so you can kind of fake it a little bit longer. Yeah, so I don't think they're gonna. Yeah, what they're gonna push a digital federal ID, then they're also gonna push like the billionaire wealth tax. So yeah, that'll definitely go nationwide because I would say about 100% chance Gavin Newsom's the next president, especially with Trump's misadventures in certain parts of the world right now. Probably also part of the PSYOP. I just don't trust anything anymore. After the last 6 years, why should I? But I'm also not afraid to say what I think and theorize because, you know what? People can call me a loon, but I'll be proven right. So my thing is I want to be like Joseph, not his brothers. Yes, I just referenced the Bible. Got to get that amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Guess I gotta glue these in place. I do have a couple leftover beers from my weekend projects. Yingling! Yinglings? Yinglings! Now, the hantavirus is another distraction, because we gotta distract from the war in Iran and the disastrous economy. Which the Iran war is not helping, but I think a lot of that is still just the COVID hangover. Oh, YouTube's ears just perked up. Well, yeah, that's the thing, Jamscan. Like, we don't have sustainable farms. We have, tens of millions of people dependent on the government. We have people that don't even know how to spell or read, let alone grow crops. It's like, we are a much weaker nation than we were in the 1930s. And we also, our morals are gone to shit. So instead of, like, helping out your neighbors or people, if things got that bad, we would just, well, I mean, think about it. Like in the 1930s, there's like twice the number of people, 4 times the number of guns. Everyone's on drugs. Yeah. I'm not trying to sound moralistic. It's just reality. Oh yeah, the Dow is over 50,000. I heard about that. Yeah, I heard a lot of yelling about that. God, that's so freaking stupid. Because yeah, you went from like the Democrats would say Wall Street is not Main Street, and then under Biden, look at how great Wall Street's doing, and then Trump, same damn thing. So it's like, wow. That didn't last a long time. I want to know what happened to Occupy Wall Street. You ever notice how that went away? That went away. What happened? Oh, and now it's not the 1%. Now it's the 0.000%. Weird, huh? I guess 1%ers are too poor. Because you only, like, if you had like a couple both making like $180,000 a year, you're a 1% family. So I guess that's just, too poor. We had to like round up because of inflation. Yeah, it's just I agree, Stranger Sound. It's not about being religious. It's about noticing a lack of morality in our society. Yeah. And religion is not meant to be taken... Well... Like, this is something like someone like religious like my mom wouldn't understand or want to understand. It's like, religion is not meant to be taken literally. Like, all religions are, they're about morality and about code of ethics. That's what it's really about. And then it uses a bunch of metaphor to, like, teach you those lessons. I'm not saying stuff in those stories didn't happen, because I think a lot of it probably did, but just like all storytelling, the purpose is to teach you lessons of morality and, like, not even necessarily right from wrong, but, like, how to, like, be better to your fellow man and stuff like that. And if you look at, like, most governments, and, most of it's still based off Abrahamic law. Oh, God, now I sound like a Freemason. Well, identity politics was a little after Occupy Wall Street. Actually, I have a conspiracy theory on that, too, if you want to hear it. Oh, yes, GSD. I definitely... Bernie is completely flip-flopped from, like, 10 years ago. Well, definitely since, like, 12 years ago, but yeah. So I have this theory. Hear me out. Like, if you look at, like, Occupy Wall Street and then identity politics, they were fairly linear. I think identity politics was a psyop. So basically, I think the hippies were being too anti-corporate, so the corporations went woke, and now it's like, oh, well, now I suddenly love giant corporations because they have this policy. It's like, well, but they're still giant evil corporations, but I think that's what a lot of that was about, was, yeah. I think there was like a, because if you think about stuff like the CIA and all that stuff, like they usually push kind of conservative, and so I think maybe the hippies were getting too hippie, and so they kind of gave them a placebo, which is like woke stuff, which is like a simulation or a veneer of liberalism without actually being liberalism, because I don't know. It really feels, well, it feels like the parties flip-flop, but then the Republicans went right back to being warmongers. So I guess that was another illusion. Oh, YouTube's ears are burning right now. This stream is not available in your country. Well, yeah, there used to be a left-wing bumper sticker, which was Wall Street is not Main Street, and it's true. And I mean, right now, that is 10 times more true than it was 20 years ago when I would see that bumper sticker. But you don't see that anymore. It's kind of like it's been programmed out of people. See, my thing is like, I would say in general I have fairly classical liberal views. The thing that really gets my goat and makes me complain on Twitter is it's kind of that the Democrats kind of became Republicans. I think that's part of the psyop. And it's like I get upset when I see people going away from traditional good liberalism. That's what bugs me because I think, you know, people should try to be like good liberalism, or like, you know, like workers' rights and stuff, or you know, like gay marriage and stuff. Like, I think all those things are good things that we should have. But I think at a certain point, like, you see like this craziness. It's like, well, wait, how is that helping workers? How is that putting food on the table? And it's not. But I think that was part of it. Is like, I think the Occupy Wall Street thing spooked some people, and that's why we see some of the stuff we do today. It's like, oh well, as long as Amazon, you know, does certain things, then I guess it's okay for them to be an evil corporation. I think that's part of it. I'm like the hippie. Oh, no, also there's a lot of deprogramming of conspiracy theories. That's also definitely something that's happened recently. So, because it used to be like kind of like the hippies that would talk about that stuff, but nowadays they don't think conspiracies are real at all. Hmm. Yeah, like right now is when there should be an Occupy Wall Street movement, because that wealth disparity has gotten so much worse than it was in 2012. Like 2012 was a halcyon economic age compared to right now. Well, I don't know. La da da da. Screw Henry Kissinger. Occupy Bill Gates' living room. Yeah. Huh, which one? He's probably got 100 of them. Let's see. Do I have everything else printed? I think I have enough. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, GST. Yeah, because back then they didn't even have income tax. Like, wasn't like Rockefeller was like richer than like any, he's like still like the richest person who ever lived. Like, people like Elon Musk don't even come close. Well, those families are still rich 100 years later. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. I only ever saw that new controller type once. Not that I'm lamenting the fact. How did I even get started on this subject? Oh yeah, because someone brought up 3D printer bands. Yeah. But yeah, I think just like most things in life, it's like, okay, what would a corporation want? And then just reverse engineer something like a 3D printer band and Bingo. There's your answer. Let's see, right. Oh, hopefully I didn't forget my muscle memory. Hey, there's a 3NT3. There's something else about the 50s that people forget about. The rest of the industrialized world was a smoldering pile of rubble during the 50s. So we definitely had a big advantage. And we'd built up a lot of that manufacturing because of World War II. Like, think about it, like the two other most industrialized nations at that time were blown to shit, especially Germany. But then once like Japan reindustrialized and they started eating our lunch with their Hondas and stuff, so I don't think that was just about tax rates. I think that's an oversimplification. But at the same time, yeah, having like a, you know, people need to think about the 1950s in the global economic and manufacturing scheme of things. Oh, let's see. Okay, so this is up above. Oh, shit. I did that wrong. Come on. There we go. All the best stuff's made in Japan. Come on, eyes. Keep working. Keep working. Ooh. I don't know. I think corporations, or some corporations, see printers as a threat. It's like, wait a minute, if they make their own stuff, I can't sell them stuff. Or like with cars, like so much of like service has become such a huge profit center, or they rely on it for profits for so many things. So it's like, you know, the economy sucks, so they can't like, oh, we can't Well, I think it's everything. It's like instead of like finding new customers, you just basically keep charging your existing customers over and over and over again. Just think about it. Say you're Tesla, right? And it's like, oh, we're going to not give you the parts to fix your own Tesla car. And they'll say something about safety or some bullshit. But the real reason is they want you to get your car fixed at a Tesla-owned plant. So all the service profits go back to Tesla. And that's part, well, again, like, all the car manufacturers want to become John Deere. That's what they want, and that's what they're doing. And it sucks. Yeah, I don't even know if they'll be... Will they even be able to fix those screens? Like, or will they just have throwaway cars? Or it'll be, everything will be a lease. It'll be cars as service. I don't know. I don't trust it though. Like there's cars now like where the whole front dashboard is an LCD. It looks like one of the SpaceX capsules. Tesla insurance. Well, Teslas are expensive to insure, and I guess a big part of it is because not just because of the repair expense, but because of like the wait times. Because there's again not that many places that can fix them. So then you got, yeah, your Tesla car with your Tesla payment plan and your Tesla insurance, and it's starting to sound like a company store. Again, we're going backwards. Well, yeah, I don't even know how you would do it, Tom Lentz. Like, you'd have to... Yeah, I mean... You'd have to use, like, new old stock parts, because you're not going to... Nothing's going to be compatible in 30 years. And they put so much of it on the screen now. It's ridiculous. I gotta think there's, like... There's probably like some magic year for cars. It's probably like 2009, if I had to guess, where like you'd probably be immune from that. But again, all they'll do is they'll just say, oh, we're not going to write insurance policies for cars that are older than, you know, older than X years old. Or they'll have like, it'll be like a classic car where they put on restrictions, you know, like, you can't drive it in January, and you have to own another car that's licensed because they don't want people to, like, you know, get a life hack cheap license plate for a classic car. I could see something like that happening. Let's see, X. A21, A is down. X is in the middle. ATP21. I don't know. Like, I build and fix a lot of things, obviously. I'm just, like, way more black-pilled than Louis Rossman. What can I say? I always just go back to insurance. It's like if someone asked me, if like Ford's like, Ben, we want you to screw all the what's the best way to screw everyone? And I'd be like, insurance. Because what are you going to do? Are you going to take it to the Supreme Court? Oh, where's that part in the Constitution that says you have a right to drive a car? Oh, right, you don't. I thought Tesla already did that. There was like some feature that they paywalled or they put. Can't remember what it was. Was it like the self-driving or something? I thought there was something where they like they put it into a subscription service even though it was already there. Yeah, I guess they could, Rambo clowns. Here, I'll figure it out for him. Ben's controller will spontaneously catch on fire and burn down your house. Boom, there, that's how you do it. Man, I would make a great evil person. It's a good thing I'm not evil. See, I think what we need is like white hat evil people. Like just sit there and think of all the possible ways that companies might try to screw you. And like try to protect consumers ahead of time. Like a consumer bill of rights. But I don't know. The other thing that I think is cute about what's his face, Louis Rossmann, is he thinks that voting is going to make a difference. It's like how many meetings does he have to go to where like they take no input from the public? And they're like, well, I guess we're going to put up the flock cameras anyway. And if you're good at CAN bus hacking, it'll be easy for you to get cheap insurance. Yeah, that could work. Wasn't there a heated steering wheel subscription for was it a BMW? Some car had that. I don't know if they actually left it in there. Oh, my truck has air conditioned seats. I'm excited to try that out, although I don't think I'll use it. Well, maybe I will. I almost never use my air conditioner anyway, unless it's like really, really hot. But the seats I might give that a try. As long as there's not a subscription. They backed off. Yeah, for now. See, what about Sony? Like they want to have a login for your digital purchases, so. You remember like when everyone threw a big stink about Xbox One and like the DRM? It's like, every company was going to do that. Microsoft just did it first. It was like they're the worst first. But it's not like eventually they'll all do it, which they are. Well, I'll definitely try out the seats. I think that's cool. There's like a separate button for it next to the heated seat button, so I mean, I guess that's probably a lot more complicated than heated seats because you actually need to like, I would assume they run some sort of air bladders through there or something. Some sort of air exchanger. That reminds me, I actually need to read my truck's manual to figure out all the towing options, because I told my mom I would try to retrieve her camper out of Bud's shed on Memorial Weekend. AC seats are really nice. Yeah, it seems like a cool feature. A cool feature? Oh, that's coincidental. My sister just texted me about Memorial Weekend. Yeah, I bought a used F-150 a couple months ago. I finally broke down and got a truck. And so far, I've hauled all sorts of crap from Menards with the truck. I was like, I can put all my blocks in here in one shot. Although if I could have seen the future, I could have waited a few months, and I bet the price of V8 trucks would be coming down right about now. Wink, wink. Oh yeah, Blaze can fend FTW. Yeah, like the blank spots. Yeah, that I remember that. That was funny. That's your car's DLC. Nope. No unique items at Menards. They don't really have that stuff anymore. When I was at the convention, a decent number of people brought that up when they stopped by the booth, and I gave them the same answer. I'm like, Menards just doesn't have that much crappy stuff anymore. Yugos. I thought I saw a Yugo a while back. Wasn't there a thing where like you could buy a Yugo and you got a free Yugo with it? Like it was like a 2-for-1 car thing, like back in the late 80s? Oh, I actually got the roof rack things for my Ford Escape. Because it had like it had like the slots for the roof rack, but it didn't have the roof rack, if that makes sense. So I bought the vertical or the horizontal things and installed them myself. I don't know. Okay, you know what? I have definitely hauled a lot of things on roof racks. But this is gonna sound kind of lazy, but like it like takes so much time to like strap it in properly and make sure, you know, even though Menards isn't that far from my house, I still have to like do it. And I don't know, with a truck, you just throw it in the back of the truck. How many people have shown up showing you their homemade portables? Well, I mean, there's a whole room about that at MGC. Actually, I think that actually did happen in Portland Retro Game Expo once. Someone had something, and they came up to me, they're like, "Oh, look what I made," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." It was pretty impressive too. Like they'd made it a Nintendo. I think it was a Nintendo or a Game Boy emulator on a ESP32. I think it was back when ESP32s were pretty new. There we go. Well, I had my Ford Focus and then also my Escape. Like, you can actually fit 2x4s inside the vehicle. Like, if you shove the 2x4 all the way up into the passenger seat and right up to the window, it will actually fit inside the car. Even on my Focus, well, the Focus actually had a longer bed, so the Focus could do it too. But like when I made my my cat food dispenser, I went to Menards and I bought like a 4x4 foot sheet of handy panel, like plywood, and oh yeah, I had to strap it to my roof rack because if so if you have a 4x4 something somewhat flexible like Comatax or like pegboard, blah blah blah, you can kind of bend it just enough to fit it in the back of like a station wagon or a Ford Escape, but a 4x4 sheet of like anything rigid you can't fit in there, so I just strapped it to my roof. And that was actually one of the limiting factors of the size. This is the size of that thing was like, if it was like any bigger at all, like the side panels could not have been cut in one solid piece of a 4x4. But now I just, get a 4x8 because I can just throw it in the back of the truck. Menards used to do like they used to deliver material. Like a lot of times on the Ben Heck show, I would just have Menards deliver to the shop, and back then it was like $50 for whatever you got, but I think it's like double that now. So yeah, I don't know. They had a pretty decent list of things to do with the truck, so I'm sure the prices will, well, whatever. The prices were definitely better than they were, like, yeah. Used cars are still too expensive, but they're less stupid than they were like 2 or 3 years ago. Still stupid, but less stupid. Yeah, I kept my car, and I don't know. I figured I would like just at least keep it until the next registration period, but I guess we'll see what gas prices do. I mean, for the moment, I'm glad I kept it. It's also just, it kind of is hard to just, parking a truck in a city just sucks. And I didn't want one of those like lame 4'5" beds either. I wanted it has to be at least a 6.5 foot bed. So yeah, it's not the easiest thing to park. So also, my truck is way fancier than my Escape, but my Escape is still more fun to drive because it has the turbo booster. How many 2x4s can you fit? 0. Yeah, Chris B, that makes sense. Like, because CarMax would have also paid too much for cars like 2 or 3 years ago, and yeah, now they're underwater. I mean, the same thing could happen with houses. I don't know if it will, but like imagine like if like let's say like houses crash like even 30%. Like, why isn't that one working? Up, down, left, right. Arby's, we have the meats. Resigun, mine's almost that bad as well. It's like a regular parking lot, like sometimes I have to do like a 3-point turn to get out of it. And I just got the super cab too, so it doesn't have the extended cab because I wanted the longer bed, or well, the 8-foot beds are pretty rare, but the longer bed but a shorter truck. So, but yeah. Arby's, you better have a coupon. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Arby's probably is like the most expensive feeling fast food now, isn't it? I actually got what was it, the new spicy chicken sandwich at, what's it called? Wendy's? Because I hardly ever go to Wendy's anymore, but I went there the other day. Because I better check this. I was feeling, and the menu was like, oh, it's the new spicy chicken sandwich. And actually, that's what I usually get, is a spicy chicken sandwich. But the new spicy chicken sandwich was pretty good. It was definitely an improvement over the old one. It seemed like it was bigger, I guess. Or the one they made me was fresher. It was definitely bigger. Oh, man, are these cold solder joints? They don't look that bad, but something's wrong. Subscription chicken. WTF is going on with this thing? Oh, I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. Yeah, I remember that too. Oh, this is weird. I would say Arby's is actually, probably the fast food that's gone up like the most, like I'm probably not going to eat here anymore amount of money. I mean, I like Arby's. I don't know, it's good. But yeah, it's like, I think it's like $5 or $6 for their regular classic, which is, yeah, I'm just like, no thanks. I wonder what's going on with this. Why that button's not registering? Well, sometimes they have like a 2 for $7 meal or 2 for $7 deal, which is actually a pretty good deal. Like you get like, well, 2 things for $7. Like even like the French dip, although the French dip is crappy now, but I see what I did. Damn it. I connected the center ground to the switch terminal. Actually, I've done that before. I'm an idiot. Why should anyone listen to you? You're Hitler! Oopsie poopsie. A food truck making sandwiches? Yeah. Well, a food truck would probably have less overhead. Like if you just sold like roast beef sandwiches, I guess you could probably make Philly cheesesteaks as well. There was a tent at Menards on Saturday. It was like 20 ribeyes for $40, and I was like, oh god, that sounds like a scam. But there's a big line of people up for it. They're probably like made of placentas or something. Contains mostly zoo animals. There's another Simpsons reference for you. Yeah, because if you take like Arby's beef and like put it in a hoagie with like whatever cheese that is, that would probably approximate a Philly cheesesteak pretty decently. So you make it like Taco Bell, where everything's made out of like 4 ingredients. Well, maybe the solace with Arby's is since it went up in price so much, maybe that means it was actually like mostly real food. Maybe? I don't know. Arby's has a great brisket now. There's not much meat in these chip bags. Grade F meat, mostly circus animals. Yeah, the worker shortage wage thing, that also had a big effect. That's something else people forget about from right around the same time cars went up big time in price. Although I did find out well, what a shock. A lot of those wages weren't, they would say, oh, yeah, you can start at McDonald's at $16 an hour, but, yeah. Well, yeah, because my neighbor, well, before he moved, his daughter was working at McDonald's, or started working at McDonald's around that time. So the next time I saw Kip, I was like, I noticed your daughter has a job at McDonald's. She's probably the breadwinner now. And he's like, nah, they only pay kids $8 an hour. I'm like, oh. So, yeah. And that was during, like, the big worker shortage wage hike, so I don't think it explains everything. Beef is too expensive for fast food? Yeah, it kind of is. Well, yeah, maybe it's probably harder to cheat Arby's food versus like a hamburger, which is, well, actually no, because the sliced beef, that would be a slurry, just like lunch meat, I would assume. So, it's not like they're like carving up a piece of a cow. Well, at least Taco Bell is still cheap, even if it's not real meat, or cheapish. La da dee da da. Came as a powder? I mean, it's possible. Because like if you think of like lunch meat is it's like a meat slurry. It looks like a paste. And then they pour the paste into bags and then they boil the bags and then it forms into a meatloaf. So I mean, I don't know, a powder though. I mean, that I don't know if I believe that. Shouldn't it be cheaper if that were the case? I mean, I could believe it for Taco Bell. But like if you look at like the food inflation of like Taco Bell versus Arby's, like Arby's has had way more inflation. So it would make me think their food is somewhat real. And the fact that Taco Bell has probably inflated the least of any fast food tells you that their food is mostly circus animals. Hey, Taco Bell has the nacho fries permanent now, so that's a win. The nacho fries are also fairly reasonably priced. All right, I need to use the restroom and maybe get a Yingling. I'll be right back. Enjoy the slideshow of Bud. He doesn't move, just like a slideshow. What's going on? Taco Bell isn't food, but you can eat it. I don't know. It's cheap. Like where I live, you can still I can get like 3 crunchy tacos and a nacho fry for like $8. So I don't know. Seems cheap. Or relatively cheap. Oh, excuse me. It's the 250 whatever by half centennial, whatever. Is there even a word for that? Probably not. Well, there probably is. There's a word for everything. I remember back in the 90s, like Taco Bell used to be like dirt cheap. Like you get like tacos for like 59 cents and shit. Oh, it's my favorite. Think about what's that joke like? Thinking about the Roman Empire or whatever. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but yeah. So everything was just so cheap back in the 90s. And of course, our parents would have thought, "Oh, this is way more expensive than things in 1970." But I don't know. Mexi melt. All right, so we got to connect the Hall effect thing, to the rib bone, to the thing. Yeah, like if you watch Die Hard and Al looks up at the Nakatomi Plaza and it pans past like 89 cents gas in Los Angeles. I still remember the first time gas went over $1. It was during the first Iraq War. It was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Yeah, what was those? What were those like? Those like fried crisp things they had at Taco Bell. It was like I can't remember what they were called. They're like these cinnamon covered like things, and they were like really light and airy, and like you could get them for like 49 cents or something. You know, one thing that really sucks about like misadventures in the Mid East is like until that, like gas was actually like historically low. Like that was like gas was like the only thing that was like still cheap back in February. Like you were paying way less for gas in February than you were for like Taco Bell. or versus the 90s. Because, yeah, you had a 59-cent taco, but you're paying $1.39 for gas, or a $2 taco and paying $2.60 for gas. Cinnamon crisps? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I remember those were pretty good. And they were like, you could get them for like 50 cents or something. You know, the other thing that's really crazy, like high price, is like candy bars. Like even at Menards, like they want like $3 for a frickin' like Twix bar. It's like ridiculous. I guess that must have been price gouged as well. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, is there a high fructose corn syrup shortage? Well, maybe there is. Maybe there will be if the gas keeps going high. Oh, so they were kind of like pork rinds? Yeah, that's a good point, Stranger Sounds. Like, oh, I thought America was a net producer of gasoline, so why do we need the Strait of Hormuz or whatever it's called? It's like, huh? Shouldn't we be energy independent? Or maybe it's because our gas goes up in price because other people need our gas. It's like, oh, yeah. Well, we think it's bad here. I mean, it's much worse in Europe. That reminds me, I have this other conspiracy theory. Maybe this Strait of Hormuz thing is part of it. Like there's that other like body of water. So you know like where the Suez Canal is? There's another body of water that goes north of there. And if you look at it on a map, it's like, oh, you know, you could make an alternate Suez Canal right here. But guess where the canal would go through? Where would that canal go through? It would go through Gaza. I wouldn't put it past them. And they're going to build a bunch of like beautiful, beautiful casinos at the edge of the canal. All right, let's try the trigger. Looks pretty good. Let's test everything else. All right, looks good to continue. Yeah, the place I've noticed where I think I've noticed an effect of high prices with fast food is definitely the Wendy's. Well, I don't go there very much because I don't know. I think once a meal goes past $10, that's like a psychological problem. I usually don't get a meal because I've been cutting way back on soda. Or if I do, I'll get something more innocuous like a Sprite. Well, on caffeine too, but yeah, I remember like well, yeah, like when everything was shut down, or even for a couple years after that, like the Wendy's drive-thru would have a big ass line, but now it doesn't. So I kind of wonder if the prices just got too high. I don't know. It's not Arby's high, but it's definitely more than McDonald's. I mean, the food is better quality than McDonald's, but quality isn't everything. produced by Raspberry Pi. Yeah, this is the only color I've been able to get consistently lately. I don't know. I still have the sneaking suspicion they're going to kill Xbox. They're like, oh, no, Xbox forever. It's like, yeah, right. That doesn't mean anything. But yes, it does look like a Raspberry Pi controller. You're right. Is In-N-Out reasonably priced? Or whatever can be construed as reasonably priced these days? I haven't been to one of those in... God, it's been a while. Probably at least 10 years since I went to one. Actually, I don't think I've been even to California in like 9 years. No, 8 years. No, I think Wendy's is... I think it's pretty good. Like if you get a Wendy's hamburger, it's usually already... They're almost always pretty decent. They're always like juicy at least. In-N-Out is still reasonably priced. That's good. So here's a question. Is In-N-Out privately owned like Culver's and Chick-fil-A? That actually does make a difference. Oh God, do I have one of these that doesn't... Oh wait, yeah, I made one of my new ones. I printed it in a different direction. Mooya. Has anyone tried Mooya? Like moo, like a cow, yeah. They opened one here a while back. The burgers are really good. Double combo. I guess that's not too bad. That doesn't sound that bad. It is privately owned? Okay. I mean, like, if you look at, like, the two... Like, if you look at, like, favorite fast food by state... It's almost entirely Chick-fil-A and Culver's, and they're both privately owned. The shareholders would be like, "All right, we're gonna be open on Sunday now." I think In-N-Out has expanded eastward, just not very fast. Just like how Culver's expanded, but not that fast. Or Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A is way older than Culver's, but they just didn't expand very fast. Chick-fil-A, I think, dates back to the 60s. Yeah, I would say I prefer Culver's to In-N-Out. I also prefer Culver's to Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A is kind of overrated. I think Chick-fil-A is probably good if you don't have a Culver's. You know what, though? Chick-fil-A is actually the most profitable franchise there is, even being closed one day a week. Like the average per store revenue is like twice that of McDonald's. It's pretty crazy. I don't know why it makes that much more money, but... And the absolute worst restaurant franchise is Subway. Like, people who, like, buy a Subway, they're basically buying a job. They buy a job because Subways don't make very much money, so you basically have to work there if you own one. So it's like, oh wow, yeah. Oh, I was talking to a buddy of mine at MGC, and we were complaining about people who say, "Oh, I went to Culver's and I got the cheese curds," and it's like those aren't real cheese curds. I think I've bored you guys with that story many times, but it's just funny to hear a friend of mine bring it up in isolation. Because I think we were talking to someone that was from out of town. Chuck E's? Do you mean Buc-ee's? All right, let's finish this thing. Leroy Jenkins. Beaver nuggets, yes. And the beef jerky salad bar. Buc-ee's tried to put a location in Beaver Dam, not Beaver Dam, DeForest, but I think the Quick Trip mob kept him out. That wouldn't surprise me. You know what I think I noticed around here? Sorry. Delving a bit back into politics, but all the like privately owned companies here are all like really right wing for some reason. Like Quick Trip, Menards, Uline is Uline is, yeah. I don't know why, but it's just kind of a trend around here. Obviously, Chick-fil-A is religious. Hobby Lobby is super religious. Hobby Lobby is also a really good store. I think the only thing that keeps Michael's in business is people that like don't go to Hobby Lobby out of protest, because Michael's sucks. Ugh. Culver's cheese curds? No, don't bring that up. No, we were at the thing and we were hanging out at the Miller Pub, of course. And, oh yeah, my buddy traveled up, he traveled up with his buddy and his wife, so it was like, you know, like a double couple kind of thing. And so I think, yeah, they hadn't had cheese curds before. And so Sean was like, all right, we're going to make them eat cheese curds and not those fake ones at Culver's. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sick of people telling me, oh, I got cheese curds at Culver's. And he's like, I know, right? They're not real cheese curds. Well, not real. Real cheese curds should be beer battered. Wait, no, they not should be. They have to be. Oh, hey, John, how's it going? There's a Culver's in Dallas? Oh, yeah, I guess yeah, they're down there now, right? They're just not... they are Cisco industrial frozen breaded cheese. Oh, I'm sorry, crumb breaded cheese curds. That's not right. Battered with Milwaukee's Beast beer. Look, I obviously I understand why they use them, because making real cheese curds would be too slow in a Culver's, and they would make the grease too dirty. That's why they make the breading overly thick on those, so the cheese doesn't leak out and foul the grease. Because, you know, that's a big problem with cheese curds. Well, I don't know, like, they sell them all over the place here. I don't know where they sell them. I mean, they must sell them, because cheese curds are just the curds pulled out of the way before they're processed into cheese. So it's like the progenitor of cheese making. Because then what would happen is you would take out all the cheese curds from the whey, and then you would like make it into whatever kind of cheese you wanted, or the enzymes or whatever. Then you put it into a big press, and then you turn it into cheese. But around here, they'll just scoop raw curds out of the whey and put them into a bag and sell them, and those are cheese curds. But then they'll make deep fry. Well, they make beer batter the cheese curds, and then you beer batter them and fry them and then sell them. That's fried cheese curds. But it must be beer batter, and it must be urine. Sawyer, yeah, I've discussed that before. I actually talked to people at Microsoft about it, just like random employees I run into. The thing is, if you did that, you'd have to actually have it be a licensed controller. So you would need like the crypto that allows it to connect to a machine. And as far as like just selling generic modules, apparently that's considered a risk. That's what I've been told. I think the problem would be that you'd have to, like, if you were doing it like as your own business rather than like Sony or Microsoft just doing it to be altruistic, I think you'd probably have a hard time affording it or making it viable. That's kind of the problem. I mean, it'd be nice. Although, the thing is, but if you're doing like with 3D prints, though, it would take a lot longer because you'd have to print a bunch of stuff to make it. A subscription. Half grilled onion, half beef. Oh, was it? It wasn't a Pete's hamburger, was it, by any chance? Crispy. Just need to make more one-handed people. Well, I would hope not. Yeah, if I had some time, I would try to like simplify the design even more so I could lower the price. But I just haven't. I don't know. I don't have the energy I used to have. I think part of it is like, I don't know, like I think part of it's psychological. It's like I think when you work from home, like for me it's like I get to like 5 o'clock and I stop programming, and then it's like I kind of like lose the gumption to work on stuff at night. It's like want to like chill and stuff. I mean, aside from like these sessions, obviously, but I was actually consulting AI about it, like trying to like use it as a psychiatrist, and it suggested it's like, because the thing is, on the weekends I don't feel that way, and it suggests is like, well, in the weekends you probably have a better psychological detachment, because it's like you go to sleep and then you wake up, and then like Saturday and Sunday are like full days of like doing stuff, and it's completely detached from your work versus like an evening. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It looks like everything's good to go. I mean, because like in the old days, like even like 10 years ago, I could be like, oh, I'm going to work all day and then I'll go home and like work on projects at night, which you can do when you're not married. But I just don't have the energy for that anymore, I guess. And not drinking caffeine past 2 p.m. also doesn't help. All right. Lefty controller done. Elapsed time, 2 hours, 21 minutes. A bit on the slow side, but I got sidetracked with conspiracy theories. Well, I mean, Microsoft's made 2 different accessibility controllers, and then Sony has one, but I think they're all still like way too modular. You know, like they expect you to like buy a bunch of modules and plug it in and like make some like labyrinthian squid-shaped controller, whereas this is just a specific thing. Like I've only got one hand, but yeah. Although I still charge $350 for these. I haven't raised the price since 2017, but again, like when the economy sucks, you know, this is a lot of money. So, but the same thing, you know, they're assembled by me here in America, so you know, I still charge for it because I don't, you know, I don't know. Because I can. Oh, wow, Chris, you've been there? Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Pete's Hamburgers. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that place has been there for like 100 years. I think it was like a couple of years ago. No, it was, well, yeah, Mad Cheddar. It's really like you're really just paying me to do intricate soldering. That's what you're really paying for. Let's be honest. Chris B. It's a couple fishing trips ago. I brought my flat iron on the trip, and then one day we replicated as close as we could. We replicated Pete's Hamburgers. So we chopped up like 5 onions, and then we kind of like boiled them on the flat iron because you know there's like an edge, you know, so you can like, you know, you can put a bunch of liquid on it. I think we boiled them for like at least 30 minutes, and then we cooked the hamburgers in the onion juice, which is what Pete's does, and then I put them on. I use like a kind of like a fairly airy kind of starchy roll or bun. That way it would soak up a lot of the onion juice. And it was a pretty good approximation. But yeah, Pete's Hamburgers is awesome. Yeah, there's a Subway really close to me, but I pass by it to go to Melio's or Jimmy John's instead, or is it Jimmy John's? No, it's one of those places. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, I think I saw one of those same videos, and that's what inspired me to do this. So yeah, you don't actually saute the onions. It's more like you boil the onions. And then you definitely want to cook the burgers in the onion juice. But if the onions get caramelized, it's not really a Pete's burger. So the onion should be not quite to the caramelization stage, which doesn't seem right, but that's how they do it. Yeah, Subway's like kind of expensive now too, isn't it? reach in and give him a zonk. Oh no, were you having a dream? Ah! You obviously just tried to bite my finger off. That was entrapment. Beans! Jersey Mike's. I've heard of Firehouse. I've never tried them. We have a Melio's and I think it's Jimmy John's. Yeah, I went to Jimmy John's a couple times. I think I still prefer Melio's though a little bit more. Although Jimmy John's seemed like it was a little bit more substantive for the price, like there was a little bit more meat. But they're like literally across the street from each other. Yeah, what's the joke with Subway? It's like, Subway, convincing people that eating a loaf of bread is healthy as I drink a beer, which is liquid bread. I think it's Jimmy John's. Let me take it. It used to be a Quiznos. Why is my map in orthographic view? There it is. Yeah, Jimmy John's. Yep, okay. Oh, Noodles. God, I haven't been to Noodles and Company in like a decade. I don't know, you can just make your own Noodles and Company type food so easily, so why go there? Firehouse is expensive. Do we have... Oh, good. My thumbprint reader wasn't working all weekend because I was all mucked up. Firehouse. Oh, there are 3 of them here. Oh, that one's not too far away. Oh, yeah, that's over by... Yeah, that's not... Yeah, maybe I could check it out. Oh yeah, Rezigun, the Something Good ads. Yes, we like the moon. See, I was actually a fan of Something Good before those ads. So when I saw those ads, I'm like, holy crap, they're using this. Because the sponge monkeys. That's what they called those things. Five Guys. Yeah, they are really good, but yeah, it's expensive. That's it's Muya is what it's called. It's spelled like that. It's really good, and if you get like a not too fancy burger, like I don't eat a lot of food. Like I just drink too much beer. That's my problem with my gut. So I can go in there. I just get like a regular hamburger and I'm fine, right? Like Muya, you can get, I think I want to say it's like under $7 for like just the regular hamburger, which isn't too bad, but it's really good. And the thing that's good about Muya is they purposefully make the burger, well, not the burger, but everything around it. There's a lot of moisture in it. Like the vegetables have a lot of moisture, so that actually gives it a really great taste. Yeah, but Muya, it's pretty good. They also give you a bunch of like fries that are somewhat overcooked, so I usually just get a burger and then take it with me. But yeah, if you've got one here, you should check it out. I would recommend it. The dead rats with pirate hats? No, they're the sponge monkeys. Oh, John, let me think. I'll probably be at TP. Oh, I think we already had to talk about this, but it'll probably be TPF 2028 will be the next time I'm there, because that'll be the next time I have a new game. So, but I'll see you then, 2028. I know, it's hard to say. Muya is like pretty good, and it's cheaper than Five Guys, so that's why I brought it up. It seems pretty popular. They had this place in there before called Bruce Tap House, and they had like all these beers on tap, but their food was atrocious, and they're gone now. Yeah, John, I'm not. I don't know, I'm not really big into travel. Like, when I used to travel all the time, a lot of it was because I did it for work. Yeah, because, like, Spooky keeps trying to get me to go to pinball at the beach, and I'm like, I don't know. So, I've heard that's a really good show, too, but I haven't been there yet. I don't know, I just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I'll definitely be there in 2028. So we'll see. Well-approved bug burger joints. Everclear. No, I think I've only ever tried one shot at Everclear in my whole life. No, John, my big thing, I don't know. I just think I traveled so much in the 2010s, I just kind of got tired of traveling. I don't know. Like, the only kind of traveling I really want to do is, like, go up north and, like, fish and, like, drink in shitty bars. That's really all I actually want to do. Like, I think I'm down to, like, 3 or 4... Like, I go to... Well, shit, where'd I go this year? I went to MGC. Then I'll go to the Vintage Computer Fest. So I think that's 2, yeah. Well, yeah. Wait. I'll probably go to the Chicago Pinball Expo, because that's only, like, 2 hours for me. But, yeah, I don't know. I just... Not really into... I don't know. I did so much of that in my 30s. I just kind of got tired of it. I'm working on a game now. It'll be end of 2027, which means it'll start production in January 2028, which means it will be at TPF 2028, which means I will be there as well. That's why I didn't go this year, because I didn't have a new game. So, wait, 30-hour drive to North Dakota? Oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. Yeah, you're right. A famous movie director, yes, the posthumous cinematic universe is really big in an alternate dimension. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not very strong, so this is like a good lawn mowing beer, I guess I'd say, or yeah, just Austin to get out of Texas is like what, 7 hours? It's a big frickin' state. At least you never got to drive through Illinois. Illinois is like half the country tall, and it's like just nothing. What the heck, Con? You know, I was talking to someone. We were talking about how we didn't really like Murph anymore. And we were like, we should start a 3D printer convention in Chicago. Because it's like closer to things, unlike Murph. I hear like the Rocky Mountain Printer Fest is pretty big now. People went nuts for an average beer. Oh, Yingling. Yeah, they made like a big stink about it. Like coming, I think it came here about 2 months ago. Like, that all these, like, I guess they were giving out signs because like there's like these fake neon signs at the liquor stores that say Yingling is now here, and just appeared all at once. I don't know. I don't know, for variety. Like, I would say I like High Life better than Yingling. Yingling has got like a little bit of an aftertaste that's kind of a little, yeah, I don't know. It's all right. I mean, it's good, but I think High Life is slightly... Yeah, actually, High Life is definitely cheaper. High Life is like $2 cheaper for like a 12-pack. Yeah, Megan, me too. Yeah, like you can still get, like, I can get a 12-pack, even at Quick Trip, like gas station prices, you can get a 12-pack of High Life for like $11.99, and often it's on sale. Sometimes the 18-packs are like really cheap. You can get like 18-packs for like $12 sometimes. Oh no, High Life as a baby? That doesn't sound good. Bud, do you want some High Life? Are you a tired cat? Oh, were you alone all weekend? Because I was outside working the whole time? Lonely cat. Lonely cat. Lonely cat. Lonely cat. Oh, Bud's birthday is next week. He will be 6 years old. Oh God, Hams. Yeah, Hams is definitely worse than Yingling. My buddy's bar, one of my friends has a bar, and he has Hams on tap. Sometimes I get it just for a laugh, but it's not very good. The packaging costs more than the beer. It probably does. Oh, thank you very much. Handley not yet set. Thank you very much for the super chat. For a High Life pack. Thank you. I will give it a good home. You know what, Stranger Sound? I agree with you. If I was president, I would get rid of all those plastic bottles because plastic sucks. Well, at least for that. Yeah, like people get hung up on plastic straws, and yet, like, look at all these billions of plastic soda and even worse, water bottles that are out there. Hello, aluminum. A good ham tasting beer reach for a Hams. Yeah. All right, I will definitely use that particular $19.99 for some High Life for my weekend projects, because I have to wait. Yeah, 2 weeks is Memorial. Yeah, so I guess I got to do more house projects this weekend. Oh yeah, so there's like this Gen Z person. I think it was, I don't know which one it was. There's some Gen Z bartender talking about housing prices, and I'm like, are you sure you really want to lament this? It's like, there's a lot of, you got to dig a lot of holes when you own a house. You'd be surprised how many holes you got to dig. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say plastic sucks. I just think you could replace a lot of plastic with aluminum, especially when it comes to like beverages. But you know, you gotta people gotta see the color of the beverage. That's a big part of it. Unless you had transparent aluminum. I mean, if you want to be pedantic, these cans have a very thin layer of plastic on the inside of them as well, but that burns away easily. Uh-oh. Bud left. Bud, when you jump out of that bin, it's just like Pee-wee's Playhouse where you know the show's about to be over. You're going to jump on the Pee-wee bike. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I got you. Oh, look how big you are. Are you the biggest cat on the street? Biggest cat on the street. Biggest cat you'll ever meet. Big cat. Are you a big cat? All right, go up there. There you go. Yes, the paper straws that come in plastic wrappers so they don't absorb moisture. God. Now that's a virtue signal. It's like, no, did you think about this? Has John Hamm ever drank a Hamm's beer? Well, I would hope so. You know, actually, I actually have this straw. I have this straw collection. Like, I have like this big mason jar. I put all my extra straws in it. It's kind of stupid. Like, I'll have a straw, and I'll like from a soft, like from Culver's, and I'll actually like wash it and put it into the jar. So that, hey, it's out of a landfill. Maybe all those straws will come in handy someday. I actually had this. I think I've told this stupid story before, but I had this one straw that I got it. Well, it must have been a long time ago because I got it in San Francisco. But it was this big, giant black straw, and it was at some place. I can't remember where it was. And, oh, God, was it for Maker Faire? I know it was downtown. And I was so impressed with this giant straw that came with whatever I bought that I actually took it into the bathroom and cleaned it. And then I took it home with me, and I still have it. I could probably go get it, but I don't feel like it right now. But I'm sure it was nothing special, but I've kept it all these years in my straw collection. Yeah, I mean, there's an easy way to keep straws out of the ocean, and that's to not throw them away. Done. Oh, you know what else I do? Because I actually am a big believer in like environmentalism. If you get like, is it McDonald's? If it's a place that gives you like a plastic soda cup, like a plastic, you know, like, I think McDonald's does. I always keep those too. I clean them, I wash them, and then I put them into this bin in my garage that has all my painting supplies. So anything that's like a plastic mixing bucket, I put into that bin because then you can use it for like mixing like epoxy or paint. So if it's like the if you get like the Chinese food and it gives you the plastic bucket of the juice, you know, like the sweet and sour juice, I'll keep those. And yeah, and then you can just use them for mixing later on, and then you throw it away. But at least it got more than one use. What? Oh, I also keep Like if you get like a whole pile of napkins, I keep those too. So, because then, you know, like if I'm eating lunch and I have something greasy or something, I just use those napkins instead of pulling off a piece of paper towel. Because, yeah, why not? So, waste not, want not. All right, well, Bud is whining. So I guess it's time for Pee-wee's Playhouse to end. All right, well, thanks for stopping by and putting up with my stupid conspiracy theories. And I hope you all enjoyed the stream, and I guess we'll see you next time. Yeah, maybe we could do another one of those Bud game things. I want to learn more about the state machines in Godot so I can actually program the movement better, because right now the code is super hacky. I need to redo it. Yep, see you everybody. Bye-bye.